to talk really fast, so I'm really apologetic. I have so much to say. Okay, so I'm Dan Rosas. I'm teaching mixed reality, and this is Proposing in the Art of Shipping Things Fast. Okay, so rapid prototyping is the act of creating in order to answer a question. My recent proposal to my fiance was a masterclass in the rapid prototyping mindset, which I'd like to share with you. So, I'm the one that looks like me, and the one that doesn't look like me is my fiance, Kat. Spoilers, she said yes. All right. So, first, explore your crazy ideas. Prototyping is an opportunity to explore crazy ideas for potential. This is your platform to indulge these ideas. A thought starter could be saying something like, wouldn't it be cool if? For instance, wouldn't it be cool that when Kat headed to London, her favorite city ever, like, wouldn't it be cool if I surprised her there and proposed? We're both from Seattle. I explored flights the day before she left for that work trip, and they were pretty affordable. Next, have a bias towards action. So, I waited until the next day to purchase the flight, and prices quadrupled. So, be open to outside perspectives. While complaining to coworkers that plane tickets were super expensive, they helped me create a cost-benefit analysis. With the right perspective, I could convince myself that for the low price of the plane ticket, I could have a free European vacation. Since Kat, her work already took care of the hotel and food and all of that, basically we get a pizza every night, and didn't I deserve a free European adventure? So I decided to pull the trigger. I bought the ticket, which was actually way cheaper than I thought, sent an email to my team saying, I'm going to London, be back eventually, and ran out of the office. Have a deadline. Parkinson's law states that work will fill the amount of time given to complete it. Picking a short deadline is a forcing function to get the work done. Since my flight was the following evening, I had 24 hours. So focus on one problem at a time. Anytime you start to get overwhelmed, bring yourself back to focusing on the most immediate problem. Once I had a ticket, I needed a ring. I had to tell my parents that I was going to London. I had to ask her parents for permission. I had to pack, I had to take care of the dogs, I needed a haircut, I had to go to the airport, and I had to fly to London. I do not like flying. Cool. Next, embrace ambiguity. It's okay to start working before you have all the answers figured out. If you're too rigid and structured in your plan, you may be unwilling or unable to pivot if you need to. Don't get married to ideas. Ideas are cheap, but if we come up with the idea, they can become precious. I found a ring at a local jeweler, and it was perfect, according to Kat. Yeah, I showed it to her. So I called the jeweler, and I explained my predicament. I need a ring, I'm flying to London tomorrow, I don't know her ring size, but I traced one on a Post-it note. Can you help? Paper prototyping. They said yes. They found the perfect ring in their vault, they emailed me a picture, and guess what? That was not the ring that I sent them. Don't be afraid to pivot. If I went with this ring, the user wouldn't be happy. It wasn't delightful, so despite the time constraint and having loved the concept of the local ring shop, I had to explore other options. Ask for help. It's okay to not have all the answers. Oftentimes, asking questions helps foster inter-team relationships while helping you get through blocks faster. I had been in contact with Kat's mom throughout the entire process. She actually agreed to watch the dogs, which was a huge burden off my shoulders. When I told her about the ring issue, she suggested another shop in the area, and I jumped on that opportunity. I called him up and explained the situation. Need a ring, leaving tomorrow, don't know the ring size, but I traced it on a Post-it note. He was up for the challenge. Observe. The world wants to inspire you. You just have to be open to it. A million amazing things happen to you every single day, but you just need to be in the right mindset to appreciate them. For me, this was at the jewelry shop. We found the perfect band, we found the perfect stone, and it was fine. But the real amazing moment was Einstein. While we were talking rings, one of the employees opened the front door, and a massive labradoodle bounded in. Dogs are a pillar in our relationship, so this was a sign to me. This was the right ring, and this dog was the motivation to keep pushing forward. Come on, it was a dog at a jewelry shop. How novel. Okay, so I bought the perfect ring, and there's a bunch of details about how the stone was almost sold to somebody else, but because of my timeliness, I actually stole it from that couple, so take that. Anyway, but time's of the essence, so I gotta keep going. All right, so know what your stakeholders value while staying true to yourself. Earlier in the year, I was accosted by Kat's parents, and I had to ask them for permission before I asked. So, with the ring in hand, I went to their place, and we had a heart-to-heart on the couch, which ended in tears, hugs, and pizza. To seal the deal, we finished the evening with a shot of tequila, and that part's for my family. Brilliance can come from anywhere. The next morning, I dropped the dogs off with Kat's parents, immediately got a haircut and a beard trim, I had a beard at the time, and got an indispensable piece of advice from my hairstylist. She suggested when I propose, say Kat's full name, including her middle name, which I found out is Alyssa. That'll make this much better. We've been dating for 5 years, but it's fine. Okay, so I grabbed an Uber to the airport, got to the terminal grotesquely early, grabbed a glass of wine, popped a few Benadryl, and had a relaxing flight across the ocean. Arriving in London, my mind was blown. My bag was the first one at the baggage claim. Never happens. I grabbed a black cab, headed straight to Kat's office, and I was texting her along the way because I was nervous. This was a little bit of a red flag to her. She was curious why I was awake at 4 a.m. Seattle time. But I played it off by complaining about my inability to sleep due to our unruly dogs. She bought it. So when I arrived outside of her hospice, luggage in hand, I texted, "Hey, do you have a few minutes? I really want to talk to you." And her response leads me to the next point. Be flexible. She responded, "I'm free in 90 minutes. And here I am, outside of her office. I just flew from Seattle to London, ready for the big moment, and now I'm asked to wait 90 minutes. So of course, I did what any love-drunk bachelor would do. I found the nearest pub, grabbed a pint, and complained and told the story to the bartender. Avoid expectations. 87 minutes later, I was in front of her office again. I texted her a picture of my flight itinerary, and I said something like, "I decided I couldn't wait to see you." Or something else cliche and romantic and cheesy and perfect. She was awestruck. "What? Are you here? What's going on?" are a couple of the texts I got back. I told her I was in the courtyard waiting to see her, just like in the movies. And this is where she runs outside and we embrace and it's perfect, kinda. After she said that she was headed outside, I waited. And I waited. And I waited for about 5 more minutes. And eventually she texted me back and said she got lost in the building. You see, in the United States, the ground floor is 1, but in London, it's 0. Americans. All right, done is better than perfect. I had it all planned out. She would run outside, we would embrace. I'd drop to one knee, speak my piece, show her the shiny ring, and she'd say yes, put the ring on, success. How it actually went, she came outside and said, "You're here!" And I said, "I am." And then she repeated herself, and I tried to tell her that I had more to say, but she was still hung up on that whole dance in London thing. Eventually, I had to ask her to stop talking so I could do my thing. And I got down on one knee, I said my deal, showed her the ring, and then I heard her response. "There's a light in the box!" Indeed, there actually was a light in the ring box. It helps the ring look shinier, according to the sales team. So, nothing goes as expected. And that's something to remember. We create things for others, meaning that there's 2 brains in this equation. We can control what we put in front of our users, but then it's our responsibility to see how they respond to it. While we can steer behavior, we can't control how they think, feel, or perceive. This is why it's so important to stave off expectations and observe reality. She eventually said yes, we kissed, and it immediately began raining. It wasn't what I planned, but it all worked out. Thank you.